Welcome back to Conversations with Biz. I'm Zeke. I'm here with Ben and Israel. Most everyone has a favorite celebrity. Are celebrities wise people that actually know what they're doing, or are they just normal like everyone else?
Within 10 years of retiring from the NBA, after making millions of dollars, 60% of players within the first 10 years are losing majority of their wealth. It's a bunch of players going broke when they retire. And that ain't ruffling no feathers.
Right.
Players are, living check to check.
Right.
Etc. You can blame the athlete, or maybe they living expenses, but they was 18 or 19-year-old when they came into wealth, and the people that represented them didn't help them handle that or care to. If you can't help me at 18 or 19-year-old to maintain my wealth, build a legacy, and keep what I'm earning, and be able to influence me on my decision making, you shouldn't be representing me in the first place. Shouldn't even be allowed to walk into my house.
It's common knowledge. It's been reported over the years. The NFL, American football, NBA, the National Basketball Association in America. Many of these athletes make a lot of money. That's normally what's publicized. But many of these same athletes are broke within a few years. And that's what Jaylen Brown, the NBA player, is saying. What do you guys think?
I think we expect too much from them. Like, I think, if you actually think about it, this is not they're just like the average human being with a massive paycheck.
Yeah.
Like you've got guys who are on 100K a year, but they don't save like the guy who's on 35K a year. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who's on 35K a year can go out and probably, I remember a friend of mine said he was working a job where some of the guys he was working with were on like those like big income brackets, like where 80K a year. And it was like, but they'll go out and those guys would be asking him, "Oh, let me a tenner to get a drink." Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, and he was like, "It's crazy." He's like, "How you?" And he goes because I think he handles something to do with paycheck. So he's like, I looked at this guy's paycheck, and he's making X amount a year, and he's asking me for money. Like, do you know what I mean? But the reality is, it just all boils down to, like, they call it financial discipline for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be disciplined with your finances. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of people, what tends to happen is when they get a paycheck, like who used to say, I think it was from Rich Dad Poor Dad, he was like, their toys grow with their paycheck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, if they're on 20K, their toys would be 20K worth of paycheck, worth of 20K
toys.
Worth of toys.
Toys, yeah.
Right? And if
20K worth of liabilities.
Right, exactly. But now you have these guys. I remember I heard Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
He was like, his first paycheck, man said he got paid like $1 million.
Yeah.
And he splashed the whole thing in a day.
Mm-hmm.
In a day. And he was like, luckily, somebody stopped him and they advised him. They said, listen, young lad, like if you want to be able to retire with money or whatever the case might be, this is what you got to do. So he started to invest into businesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the reason why he's been retired for however long. And he's got a chain of businesses that obviously that allows him to maintain that lifestyle that he had whilst he was in the NBA. You know what I mean? It's like I think these are average people, man. These are average people with a massive paycheck. It's like lottery winners, except they don't get it all at once. They get it I don't know how people in the NBA get paid, but they get it every so often, right? Compared to like lottery winners.
Yeah, it's similar. They get paid like game day. You get like a game day check. So
right.
You get what I'm saying? They get they get paid very similar to my understanding, just like everybody else. A couple times a month they get a deposit, and the difference is, like you said, Ben, the massive thing. It's much more money than most people get on their paydays, but they get paid very similar. They get paid very similar unless, like you mentioned with Shaq, unless they're doing wise things which get them the opportunity to get paid more often, and again, bigger paychecks and bigger payments than most of the people living.
Yeah. So I actually saying that, I actually think it is like winning the lottery, bro. Except you got like it just works out better because they get it every, like they kind of, like they have those lottery games where 10K every month for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they've kind of got that, except it's not for the rest of their life. It's gonna stop when you're no longer playing in the NBA. We don't need to pay you anymore. Do you know what I mean? So if you're not taking care of your money, the same thing with us lot. Do you know what I mean? It's like, at your age right now, are you putting away money? Are you investing your money? Because the same way, we'll have some people come retirement, they need their kids to take care of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Obviously,
they need their kids to take care of them.
Even what you've explained is an ideal scenario for NBA players, that they play for a certain amount of years and then it stops. A lot of players, they play for a couple of years, they get a mad injury, and then they're done. And it's like, if they haven't taken those steps, this is why why the Shaq example is good, because if you don't take those steps early, you hear a lot of these people, who go on to like do the kind of stuff Shaq's doing, even if they don't do it at that extreme. A lot of them, you'll hear their first year they spent recklessly, a lot of them, and then someone spoke to them, and by God's grace, they listened, even though they were young with all of this money. Most of these people, like Jaylen Brown said in the clip, they've made this money. They're young. They've never made this kind of money before. And loads of them, after that first year, make the necessary adjustments. And it just helps them. I remember in another video, Zeke was talking about this. He's giving an example of what someone said to him about how you train people back in the day to give. You train them to give when they're young, like in the faith. So when they are older in the faith, maybe when they're over more money and stuff like that, they don't now all of a sudden feel bitter, or they don't feel like, oh yeah, they don't, the people who say, yeah, I'm going to give when I've got a lot, but I'm not going to give now because I don't have a lot. The problem with that is it doesn't happen. That's not how it works. That's not how habits are built, basically. Typically, the main way habits are built is you do something and then it progresses over time. So these guys, a lot of them, they get onto the discipline and just the wise way to manage this lump sums of money that they're getting early. So now, when you have these players who get, like, I'll give you an example, right? The guy in the video, Jaylen Brown, right? He came into the NBA and he was a good prospect, but the kind of contracts he signed now, like, I don't think a lot of people had him in view of that. So he signed like multiple hundreds of million contract. And it's like, because he's taken the right steps in those initial phases, naturally, he's set up to make those same wise choices when the money matters even more, when it's bigger money. And that's because he's taken the steps in the initial phases to be disciplined and to learn, you know what, like, yeah, I've seen so many people go before me and mess this up. I'm not going to be one of those people. And not only that, he's going out of his way to say, look, well, I want to educate people so more and more people that are coming into the NBA, coming into more and more money, can learn from the very beginning. Imagine a situation where a lot of the people coming into the NBA already are built, like, set up in their mind to follow these right steps from the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's I think, was it Jay-Z's Rock Nation? That's what it's supposed to be doing, where they take young prospects and I think they teach them like financial literacy, so that when they leave whatever, whether it be music, whether it be sports, they teach them so that they keep their money after their career is done. Do you know what I mean?
I don't trust nothing to do with Jay-Z.
So that's what Rock Nation is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
So
I've heard different organizations doing stuff like that, like similar stuff to that as well. So it won't surprise me if they're doing that as well.
Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, man, I think like they're just like average people, man. Just and another thing as well is, like, you're putting these individuals in places where it's like the toys, like they put themselves in places where you got, it's almost like you got to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember there was a comedy skit with Kevin Hart, and he was like, he must have went out one time with one of these NBA guys. I think he was an NBA guy. And he goes, when he went out with them, the guy was just like spending like crazy. And then like that night got done. And then the next day the guy called him up again and was like, oh, that was so good. Let's do it again tonight. And he was like, no, wait a minute. Like man said, like, no, we're not doing it again tonight. What the hell do you think this is? And I think it's like, if you don't have the strength to be able to, like, we have it now. Do you know what I mean? It's like someone invites you out and they got to a specific place, right? Like, we all have our financial disciplines that we're kind of like sticking to at the moment. I might be saving up for a mortgage, or someone else is saving up for a car, whatever the case might be. So someone invites you out, and you've got to have the strength to be like, no, I can't come out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you don't have to give a reason as to why I can't come out right now. I don't have the money. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but obviously, some people might put it on you like, come on, bro, you work a big boy job. I just don't have the money right now. You know what I mean? Just leave it at that kind of thing and keep it going. But how many people are doing that? You know what I mean? So, especially when you got in your mind that I've got another paycheck coming, a massive paycheck at the end of the month. Not one where I've just got to pay my rent or whatever. My rent's taken care of. Like, you know, it's like, so.
It's like key, innit? Like, I think I spoke about this before, about instant gratification versus delayed gratification. I teach my children this, bro. I try to make sure they understand this from a very young age, because what you're talking about now is you go out into the wild world and there are people, other people's children, grown adults, obviously, engaging with your children who were never trained or who don't care to entertain or, you know, implore delayed gratification. They want it now, bruv. They want to go based on their feelings. They want to go based on, you know, what someone else said. As you say, they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. So in terms of that situation there, our children, our generation, our future is now being impacted by others because of that lack of training. So I think we all have experienced peer pressure at one, you know, time or other in our lives, most particularly at a very young age. But people are all going through that same experience today. To me, keeping up with the Joneses is kind of a form of indirect or direct peer pressure, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You see someone else, you see what they've got. And when, like, imagine God set us up for this from the top end when he says, don't lust, bruv. You know, don't lust, don't covet, don't look after your neighbor's things, bro. So God was even hard coding these things in us early, so we understand that is not a becoming behavior. But still, people do those things today because, you know, other people do it and they succumb to that pressure. Crazy, man.
Obviously, we spoke about this in our Fit to Fat video, or Fit vs Fat, sorry. And we spoke about this whole concept of something being easy or something being simple, but not necessarily easy. So obviously, we've all spoken about it today in this video in our own way about managing your money, being wise, being financially disciplined. And obviously Jaylen Brown in the clip is saying it as well. How do we ourselves, first and foremost, because it's always important for us to do things ourselves that we're talking about, but also how do we help others as well take these steps in the right direction so they're not in a situation like on a large scale, for example, like an NBA player, or even on maybe a more micro scale, just an everyday person who has a certain wage. They're not finding themselves broke and constantly going from month to month, like digging a deeper financial hole for them that they feel that they won't be able to get out of. How do we help them? What are the steps? What would you say are steps that people can take?
I think environment is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Environment is a big thing, and but I think, like, one of the things I'm learning in life, bro, is the information's out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the information's out there. That's the individual on it.
Unpack environment a bit more. Like go deeper into that.
So I have a friend, right? Who's now moved to the US and he's living out in the US. And when he was here, he didn't particularly like have money like that. You know what I mean? He didn't really get into his career like that. But now that he's in the US, he's doing really well for himself. And a lot of the times when we have conversations, he's always putting it on me, just like, invest in this. Like, make sure you're taking your money and you're investing every single month. Make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. It's like, there's prior to so when he was telling me about his portfolio, I was like wow, like you're doing really well, like kind of thing. And I said to him, I was like, you know what? I want to have a conversation like this every single month. Every single month, we should take out at least an hour where we just talk about like where we are financially, right? Because and I realized the more we started to do that, the more the toys that I wanted became less expensive.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? It was like not that I don't like I'm really into cars, like so. It's not like I don't like a Bentley or anything like that, but it's if you gave me 100K now,
Mm-hmm.
I probably get a Ford Focus. Do you know what I mean? It's just like because for me, I'm now concerned. It might be age as well, but I'm now concerned with what happens in my older age than I am concerned about flexing. Do you know what I mean? This is probably the peer pressure that the youngers probably have quite a lot. But I feel like it also starts at home. Like Ezekiel mentioned, I think you mentioned in one of our other videos about, you know, you teach them from early. Like if you can give a little now, you're going to be able to give a little late. You're going to be able to give later on. But if you can't even give a little now, then you're going to struggle. So if you're teaching those disciplines in the household already, okay, cool. Like Jimmy used to always talk about what do you what did he used to say?
How do you eat elephant?
I went that one. It was when should a child learn to save a certain percentage of their dollar or $10 or something like that? Because when should you teach a child how to save that? He goes like, no, you don't want to teach it. You don't want to teach that to them when it's too late and they're struggling to be able to do it. You want to teach it to them now so it becomes easier as they're growing older. So obviously your household is an environment. Seeing how your parents manage their money, that's an environment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but you have to want to put yourself in that place. You know, like a lot of people, I feel it's very like, look, I don't knock anyone who's into designers or anything like that. I don't knock them at all. Like I said, I'm into cars. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but for me, I've seen people, bro, buy the most. I'm Congolese, yeah. So this is a well-known thing in my community, unfortunately, yeah, where you can go to a person's house and they have the latest designers, mate. Do you know what I mean? But they live in a council place. I hate. This is not me getting at my people. Like I hate it. I hate that so much. Do you know what I mean? And I've been victim of it myself. Like, so let me not even put it out there. Like, I've driven a really nice car and I don't own my place. I ain't yet got my mortgage. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not even trying to like knock anyone else out there or anything like that. But I think you have to desire it in terms of like environment. Or like one, obviously your household, starting off from your household, and then eventually as you get older, you have to desire to put yourself in those places with individuals who handle their finances correctly, with individuals that if you was to go out with them and you said, I can't spend right now, it won't make you feel some type of way about not being able to spend at that moment in time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
obviously I think the powerful thing about that is, before you go, Zeke's like discipline, there can be like, there's two sides of discipline. One side is, like you said, Ben, environment. So disciplining yourself to be in an environment which will shape you and continue to help you grow. And the other form of discipline is being able to say no when people are challenging you or enticing you or making you like, or pressuring you, making you feel pressured to become undisciplined. Being able to say no in those environments as well. It's like discipline will direct you in these various different ways, in these different circumstances, which is obviously a powerful thing when you think about it, like practically.
Yeah, B kind of touched on it. I with environment, I wouldn't use that word. I would have said mentorship. The greatest successes, many of the greatest successes I've had in my life have come because I've had a mentor, I've had a teacher, I've had to pay for training, pay for an instruction, or someone saw fit to share with me an advantage that they had or that they were aware of. So mentorship is key, bruv. And you've got to really go out and look for people who are genuinely, and I must caveat that, genuinely in the position that you want to be. Not everyone's life is perfect, all across the board, but some people have nailed particular areas. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they are ahead of you and have really nailed certain areas. So you see someone within your vicinity or maybe externally that you want to reach out to. I tell people this all the time. They are doing what you want to do, or in an arena that you want to operate, then you reach out to that person. Sometimes it may be, oh, can I take you out for coffee? Can I pay for a lunch? I really want to probe your mind. Or you pay for something and they've got, bruv. But at the end of the day, I think mentorship has smashed it for me, bruv. Since I've been a boy, bro, it's been the one thing that has constantly assisted me to move fast, bruv, to have exponential growth in areas where other people haven't. And next to mentorship, I'd say you need a plan. Ultimately, you need a plan. I think for me, it's those two things: mentorship and a plan, the right plan at that. Because some people have a plan and it's the wrong plan. Why? Because they don't have the mentor, they don't have the person who's gone before them, they don't have the structures, the frameworks, and that's the issue. So you want to find someone, and sometimes it's as simple as buying a book off the shelf. Someone mentioned Rich Dad Poor Dad. The other was it this video or another video previously? That book. I've read a number of his books and Cash Flow Quadrant, all that, different things, Retire Rich, Retire Young, and those books, there's juice in those books that have helped me in the way I approach money. And I'm not saying that Robert Kiyosaki is the guy in all areas, but there are things in his books that they're lessons in, they're life lessons in everything. So that's what I'd say, bro. I say you need a plan and a mentor more specifically. And I think a combination of those two things, and obviously the discipline that you guys have mentioned already to get it done. So simply you want to buy a book and start there, bro, and apply the things that you believe work, and then go from there, bro. And a book is what, £10? Like you get Kindle books today for like £3. Do you know what I'm saying? So 99p on sale, someone keeps telling me. So you can grab those books and really start there and develop. And I think one of the problems, I think the mindset, the fundamental mindset is where a lot of people struggle. A lot of people want things right now, this minute. And once you're willing to understand, things take time. Some things can happen quickly, but typically good things take time for you to kind of nurture and really see the fruit, cultivate and really see the fruit of those things. So I think it's important to start with that mindset. This isn't going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a 10-second fix. It will take some time. Come with that mindset first, then begin to seek out this mentor, with a humble spirit, like with a meek spirit. Like, listen, you're about to get me to start preaching, boy, but meekness. The Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth. The Lord's been dealing with me on that. Like, if you approach a genuine mentor with meekness, you come with that teachable spirit, your life and destiny will change forever. It will change because you will do what the other students won't do. You will apply and implement where other people will ask questions, go back and forth over the same thing. Bro, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like you got the right mentor, the right attitude, the right plan, bro. You're winning, bro. So if you want to get your finances in order, bro, that's a key thing. And I say this, since we're here on finances, I always say there's two ways, right? The one way is, save, manage what you've got, manage it better, scrimp and scrape. Then the other way is make more. So you can either increase your bottom line or manage the bottom line you've got. And when you have the mindset to say, I'm willing to increase, but better manage what I've got, which is almost a combination of the two, you're onto a winning formula. The Bible says that he who is faithful with little will be made ruler over much. We've got to learn how to, really respect and reverence what we have. Now, 1 million is small to some people. 10 million is small to some people. So just because you may have 100 or 1,000, don't think that, you're on the small spectrum. You are where you are with what you've got. Manage that the best you can, and then have the mindset to learn and to grow, to expand. And I'm like, God can do amazing things, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. Obviously, the Bible has so much game financial wise. It's like, which can help us on so many different levels. I remember, and it's like one of the financial books I think of a lot and come back to. And I really think it's probably because at the time, we've spoken today about how there's what we see online, and there's what we see out there, which is a certain image which is presented. And maybe because around the time I read the book, I was younger and I was looking at stuff online and I was at a very impressionable age, basically. And I remember reading this book, and in the book, he's talking about how the people that you see today that are wealthy, most of the people, like, there's basically was saying like there's loads of people out there today that are wealthy and you wouldn't even know it. And it's like, it was interesting, like he's breaking it down like, oh, these are the kind of cars they drive. These are the kind of clothes they wear. These are the kind of things they do. And I'm reading this and I'm like, this is not like what you see presented. If we were to ask loads of 15, 16, 17-year-olds today, like, what does a rich person look like? They would probably give you a list of certain stuff and be like, this is what the rich person looks like. And just to kind of keep this simple, imagine like the book was saying the complete opposite. And it's like Ben was saying it earlier, like in regards to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and just the liabilities. You have a lot of people that make a lot of money, and the more money they make, the bigger the toys get. So they're not really creating any separation between income and outcome and outgoings, which is what you want to do. The bigger this gap is, the wealthier you'll become. Right? A lot of people are like, no, well, my income's increasing, so my outgoings are going to increase as well. And it's going like that. And the drama with that is, eventually, if you don't do things the right way, your income is going to go down. And if your expenses are still high, that's how you have a financial collapse. So I always think back to that book because it was such a powerful, like, visual to realize, okay, cool. There are wealthy people who yes, do flash and show a lot of their stuff, but most people who are wealthy, you could just walk past them randomly and you wouldn't even know it. And it's like, that's such a powerful thing to really truly grasp. And for anybody who's interested in that book I'm talking about, it's called The Millionaire Next Door.
Yeah, I read that book as well. It was a nice book.
Good thing about that book is that he referenced a lot of scientific data. Like he was doing, it was a study he was doing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's the powerful thing about that. You know, for those of us who are kind of more logical, and are like, oh no, I don't believe this kind of stuff. He's surveying, interviewing, speaking to people who've actually had those experiences, and obviously this is kind of like statistical data. So
yeah.
Before you start thinking, oh, you know, I need to be a rapper or, you know, a sports personality, you need to understand that in that book, he's actually telling you the key really is you need to start a business. But anyway.
But yeah, so obviously there's books that have come out after from that period in time. Still like same kind of concepts, case study, like, etc., showing all these different situations. And it's like, I think Ben said it earlier, we've all said it at different points in times over just our different conversations. It's like there needs to be a desire to go out and search for these solutions, because the information is readily available today. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like anyone who's interested in pretty much any topic today, within a few clicks of a mouse, with a few taps of a keyboard, you can find information about what it is you're interested in. And getting that information has probably never been easier, and it's going to continue to get easier and easier and easier as time goes on. But what will always stay the same is taking the action, actually following through on the information that you have. That's what separates the majority of people, those who just look and those who not only look but do as well. That's the big difference.
Okay, guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. If you read that book, and check us out for the next video.
Peace.